Total Smith here. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Downtown Deuce ASAP. Come on, man.
We have to address the elephant in the room first, right? I'm sure by now you guys know, most of you guys are probably already aware that this afternoon we got some unfortunate news. Jaden Ivey, my guy Jaden, is going to miss the first month of the season. And the Pistons released an official statement about that today. So let's go ahead and read that together. Pistons guard Jaden Ivey underwent an arthroscopic procedure earlier today to relieve right knee discomfort. The procedure and discomfort are unrelated to the fibula injury suffered last season. That's important. Ivey will begin the rehabilitation process immediately and will be reevaluated in 4 weeks. So that was definitely some unfortunate news. Boss, what was your reaction to that when you heard that J.I. was going to be sidelined to start the season?
Oh, I was immediately heartbroken for Jaden because if you know at all, you know that he has so much love for the game, and I just hope for a speedy recovery for him on this. Speedy but healthy, because we want long term. That was honestly my first and only thing was like I'm so sad for Jaden. I'm sad I miss him, and I just think JB had some comments about it too, and he expressed the same thing. Like, we know that he's resilient, we know he'll be okay, but same kind of like just tough to go through after that. So I just hope that he focuses on healing. I'm sure that they will just be extra cautious, make sure he's good for the long run, but I'm gonna miss him. He's I miss him already, and I'm gonna miss him. So.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. This definitely hurt me when I saw it. First of all, I want to send love to his family, the Ivey Hunter family, his parents, Javen and Niel, his wife Caitlin, his grandmother, his brother Jordan. Shout out to Jay, the kids, everybody in the camp. I want to just send my love to them. This has to be extremely disappointing for Jaden, man. If we're disappointed, imagine how disappointed he is, and then you can only imagine how he feels to get to this point. And then to have to not be able to get out there with your guys. So, Jaden's father, Javen Hunter, is somebody I consider a friend. I've gotten to know Jaden a little bit. I know how hard that dude works. These last 9 months, he's worked his tail off, to come back better than he was. But he's resilient, man. Like, I know he's going to come back stronger. And, from what I've been informed of, it's something that, he's going to recover from 100%. And most importantly, they're really glad that they caught it early so that it doesn't linger and he can be ready for the stretch run, which is the most important part of the year, even though, he'll be back much sooner than that, obviously. But the focus is for these guys to be 100%. So we'll have to endure the next month without him. But I'm glad it's getting taken care of now. And I'm glad that we have the depth now to be able to kind of weather the storm in his absence. And this is something that Coach Bickerstaff alluded to. You touched on it already, boss, about what he's had to say about Jay. Let's go check it out.
Earlier, the team released a statement that Jaden Ivey is going to be reevaluated in 4 weeks due to a knee procedure that he had. What's your thoughts on that? And have you spoken to him knowing that over these last 9 months he has worked so hard to come back and to have this setback?
It's obviously tough for him, and that's what you feel more than anything. Obviously going through what he went through last year and then working his way back and then having this happen to him, it's frustrating for him. We talked this afternoon when he just wants to get out on the floor with his guys and wants to go, compete with his teammates. But, I know J.I., he's a resilient person, and all these setbacks they don't deter him from what his ultimate goal is, and that's to be a great basketball player and a great teammate. As difficult it is for him and all of us to lose him for these first 4 weeks, I know that he's going to come back better for it.
Was it a particular play? Was it something that developed over training camp? Was there any?
Yeah, it just felt like it was something that was developing over his work. Obviously, from coming back, but in training camp also, he started to feel something, and then, again, we took precautions, and then the medical team did their assessments and those things, and then had to make the decision that ultimately led us to where we are today. If healthy, we have the guys that can, fill those spots. Playing with AT and the ball in his hands more. Karras has the ability to do that. We've been extremely pleased with Marcus Sasser and how he's been able to help us. We've got guys that we feel confident in, all the way to Dennis. I feel confident you put Dennis in a game right now and he can be impactful. So we're confident in how we're going to fill it. We just have to come up with the combinations that we think work best.
What was your reaction to anything that he had to say, or a few things that jumped out at me for sure?
I think it was just, it calmed some anxiety because there's been a lot of offseason, like, should Jaden stay, should Jaden go? So it just obviously just shows that he has the full support of the Pistons and JB behind him. And again, with our depth, we might not have seen him as much as Sasser, but I appreciate what they are saying about him. I believe them when they say that he's made a leap. I'm excited for Jenkins. He's gone out there and shown that he also deserves the minutes. So it's just about, him coming back healthy.
Yeah.
And again, it was all precautionary. Like you said, they caught it early. And I think it was because they were immediately like, whoa, like, let's see what's going on. So it could be a lot worse. And
right.
I'd rather, start the first fourth season without him than finish the last half like we did last year. So.
Great point. Money time is a playoffs. Of course, you got to get there, obviously, right? But we all know how much of a difference he could have made, he and Stu, had we had those guys available in one of the closest 6-game playoff series I've ever seen in my life. So definitely, your point is well taken. A few comments here. Organic said that's a great follow-up question by Vince. Yeah, he asked him what was it that caused it, and J.I. is hard to keep off the court. Like, he loves playing. Going back to Monty Williams, when they asked him about J.I., he said we might as well change his home address to the facility because he's always here. So that's just who he is. And sometimes, you kind of need to be protected from yourself sometimes, but that's how much he loves the game. He just loves playing. So I know this has to be hard for him, but he's going to bounce back. We're going to bring someone in who's more a professional than I am when it comes to these kind of inquiries, surgical procedures, and things like that. So with that, guys, we are going to invite our guest on. We have with us Eric Thompson. Now, Eric, guys, has a degree in exercise science, so he is here to give us a little context and insight on what may be happening with the situation and how it kind of came about. So, Eric, I want to thank you for joining the show on short notice. We appreciate you making yourself available. Can you first just tell us your background in exercise science you talked about and what it means for us media casuals?
My bachelor's degree is in athletic training. My master's degree is in exercise science. I taught biomechanics in anatomy labs as a grad student, and I have an emphasis in higher education as well. And that is why I chose to work in money as my professional career. But that is my education and my history. So yeah, I'm relatively well versed in what he's gone through and what might have happened. Is there something specific you wanted me to address, or you just want me to kind of go off the cuff and tell you what I think?
Well, the first thing that I noticed when I went back and reread it again after I was just kind of blown away by the first part of it was that it was unrelated to the fibula injury he had in his left leg, because that was the first thing I thought. Is this reoccurring? Is this nagging? Is this something that's going to carry over? But after reading it again, I saw that it was his right leg that he's having the issue with. So you spoke a little bit about the overcompensation part. So I'll let you kind of elaborate on that and how it could have affected him.
Well, just a statistical example is that when you hurt something like an ACL or break a leg bone, fibula, tibia is a little bit different, and I can actually share that later. But when you do those, you have a 20% chance of injuring or at least stressing the other limb, the other leg, the other weight bearing. The biomechanics change. People compensate, and then people end up using tendons and muscles in ways that they didn't used to and probably aren't meant to be. So that's a big thing. But when you think of a 20% likelihood, that's astronomical. That's huge. The likelihood of Jaden getting the injury that he got scoped for today without the first injury is about 30 times less. So that overcompensating thing has statistical merit within the community. Biggest root causes, I think you mentioned it, rushing back. I felt like at the end of the last year he was going to come in and play still, even in that Knicks series. Right. Maybe he was fighting for that. But then the other one is, if you push it too hard and your biomechanics are not the same, we all respond differently, and he's probably putting more torque than any of us could dream of on those ligaments and bones. Right. So what the biggest part that stinks for us is that we don't get to see him for another month or so. But in terms of this being a long-term thing, the first thing I looked up was whether or not it had anything to do with his fibula or a foot bone near the fibula. That would have been a big problem too, like Jordan's injury in his second year. Okay. So, but outside of that, normal recovery, and hopefully he's able to come back balanced and ready to go. Cade's injury, I want to touch on briefly because it's applicable. Cade's was a shin or the tibia bone. Right. Jaden's was a fibula. The fibula does not bear weight. It does not bear weight. Hurts, but it doesn't bear weight. Okay. The shin bears weight. So Cade couldn't rush back.
Gotcha.
And that's probably, speaks to why he might not have had why he wasn't in the 20% that had the same issue.
Mm-hmm. That's very, very insightful. Any thoughts on that, boss? Go ahead.
No, I love what I'm hearing. This is very informative. And the fact, thank you for putting the percentages, because it sounds like that he had a 1 in 5 chance of developing this, and then, got it early, hopefully. So
when Downtown invited me to the show, I went and did some homework.
I appreciate that, brother, for sure. I'm sure everybody who was here and everybody is definitely shouting you out, saying great guest to have. So yeah, definitely appreciate you being here. Do you think how much does just the mental part, just the trust in that leg? Because I've never broken a leg. How much do you think that? Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That's a big part of it. There's 5-6 core reasons. I listed 2. Fear and kind of a reluctance to move the same way that you used to move will lead to that. Absolutely. Honestly, I just can't wait for him to be back. I fear, you're right on point with that, is that if you're afraid of getting hurt on one limb, you're more likely to hurt the other limb. So I'm really grateful to be on the show and the speaking time, and hope for a great rest of the show and a good start to our season.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I hope we don't have to have you on too much more often this season.
I can be on for other reasons. I'm funny.
Right. I know you're a Pistons fan anyway, so we might have you on anyway. Well, listen, Eric, it's been great having you on, man. We appreciate your insight. I learned a lot tonight. I don't know about you guys. Probably the same thing with you guys. I know Boss probably did. Go follow Eric on X. You can follow him, Eric Thompson TCM. That's Eric Thompson TCM. So once again, Eric, we appreciate you coming on the show tonight, man. It's been a pleasure.
You know what? We got a good comment, a good question here from the
comment. Let's do it.
Answering it. Kind of though, is there an ongoing concern? These can be more so like if it doesn't, what are we looking for at the 4-week mark? And what
right. Okay. Good question.
If I'm not mistaken, and when I am mistaken, I don't mind owning it. If I'm not mistaken, this was had more to do with inflammation and fluid, not ligament, bone, tendon, muscle.
Okay.
So yeah, knees can be serious. This is not that. Now, if he has recurring inflammation in 4 weeks, we're not going to see him in 5. Like the inflammation has to die down. It has to stop.
Any more questions you see, boss?
No.
We good.
So great shout outs. Everyone's appreciating you.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Go follow Eric. Go follow him. So yeah, we appreciate you, brother, for sure, man.
Appreciate
Looking forward
you.
to talking again soon. All right, have a good one.
Thank you much.
All right.
Bye.
Great stuff there, man. Shout out to him for coming on short notice, because this was like a half hour ago when we were talking about this. So appreciate you, brother. Guys, as we get more updates on JI status, we'll be sure to get those to you. But boss, that documentary that the Pistons are dropping is about to hit so different.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was already waiting for it, looking forward to it already. But now it's just like, it's going to have people feeling the kind of way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Crazy.
I mean, in the first documentary, when I was crying, I was just full blown crying when they show the injury part, and I can't imagine I'm already emotional for the documentary tomorrow. And it's not even out. So I appreciate JI for everything that he is and everything that he does. So he deserves to be on the court, and I know he's going to get there.
Everybody, drop a prayer in the chat, prayer emoji in the chat for JI, man. Great basketball talent, even better dude. Even better person, even better human, for sure. So, Jaden, rely on him. Like we talked about Philippians 4:7. Like we talked about, continue to have that peace that surpasses understanding, bro. Keep your head up.
All the dirty work, all dog. I'ma dive on the floor, go try to block every shot. And I'ma be physical with you the whole game. You know Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think it's just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of canine. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. Big talking pundits, I hear you're ashamed. Talking that shop, you must run this way. Put the dog palm, mess around, find out, yeah. mess around and find out, Put some barbecue sauce for you, better crop a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're ready for some barbecue sauce for you, better crop a hill, cause I'm like that.